بسم الله الحمد لله الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد. قال المصنف رحمه الله ونفعنا بعلومه وبكم آمين. وإذا وعتق المكره والسكران واقع. So if a forced person, al-mukrah, if he sets his slave free, so that is valid. Was sakran, and the drunk person, intoxicated person, so that is also valid. In terms of the one who is forced, as we said, it is based on the athar. So mainly two athar. One of them is the hadith, three things, if you remember, and the second is the statement of Umar radiallahu. Obviously I have explained the statement of Umar, so that cannot support this position, okay. But what about the single chain narration? As you know, umumul balwa, single chain narration is not accepted in umum. Obviously Imam Karhi says it's not a single chain, it is mashhur. It's not mashhur, it is single chain. Sakran, the drunk person, there are two types of drunkenness. So now my question to you guys, for the validity of the action we need consciousness, am I right? So, but the drunk person, does he have consciousness? So then why is it valid? In one of two types, Abu Hanifa agrees with this position. Exactly, you deliberately did that. So as a punishment, we go with what you said. Abu Hanifa is consistent with the same thing about the divorce also. If you're intoxicated, if you're drunk, you issue divorce, Abu Hanifa says valid. Not because it is valid, but because punishment. You did not have a right in the first place to lose your consciousness. So you lost it by your choice, take responsibility. But we have only in Hanafi school the second very lovely type of drunkenness, which is apnea style, in Asda, Tesco also. The Asda is better, high quality. No. Nabidh. So obviously drinking nabidh according to Abu Hanifa is permissible, unless, up to the point of drunkenness, am I right? But then but what about if you have it, so it is just normal one which you was preparing, but one of them, just one bottle, it was, you can say, it was stuck there for, let's say, 2 months over time. Understand? Over the time of the limit that you could comprehend. So now it's unconsciously, non-deliberately, you became intoxicated. Am I right? Because you didn't know about that period. So now you became intoxicated. So is your divorce valid or not? Abu Hanifa says no, because you became drunk by mubah way. It's exactly similar to, for example, taking drug, for the operation under the effect of the drugs. So your divorce is not valid. Am I right? Why? Because that was mubah drunkenness. Understand? So just keep it in your mind. Okay. So sukar, the drunkenness, two types in Hanafi school. In one, we just go as a punishment, but in the second, we say no, because initially it was mubah, permissible. وإذا أضاف العتق إلى ملك أو شرط صح أو إلى ملك أو شرط صح كما يصح في الطلاق. Obviously the معلق, do you remember الطلاق المعلق? What's the طلاق معلق? What is the mu'allaq talaq? Who remembers?
Conditional.
For example?
If you go to X person's house and
Exactly. So, as it was valid in the divorce, yeah, and because he's taking picture, because you don't know rizq, where is it coming from, Okay, Sayyidi. So, as it was valid in the divorce, so that's how it is valid in the itq also. So, for example, you say, so if you fulfill X condition, for example, you are free. So, if he does that, we say he is free. Okay, so it is valid. Or for example, do you remember the al-itqu ala mal? So for example, if you pay me £1,000, you are free. He pays free. So that is shart, yes. وإذا خرج عبد الحرب من دار الحرب إلينا مسلما عتق. So someone from non-Muslim land, so let's say that he was slave. Okay, well, it used to happen in Spain, Andalusia, do you remember? So slaves from, for example, non-Muslim land migrating to Andalusia. Okay, if you study the history of Andalusia, it's just lovely, it's just beautiful. Some of the caliphs, they used to support the knowledge, okay, science, medical science, so very highly. All of them, Galileo, all of these people, what do we call them? We call them Latino-Indonesian fathers, popes. So because they came to Andalusia to learn from us, and then they migrated. If you remember, all of the torture and killing, so it was on them. When they went back, they started spreading the knowledge. So Catholic church, they used to, so it was them, So if non-Muslim, if slave from non-Muslim land migrates, okay, to Muslim land, and as a Muslim, obviously he will be free. He will be classed as free. وإذا أعتق جارية حاملا عتقت وعتق حملها. So if you free a slave, she is slave who is pregnant, if you free her, so her child also will be free. So if you remember, to belong, being attributed, so child in terms of religion is attributed to the best religion, okay, and in terms of the freedom and slavery, attached to the mother, okay, but in terms of the maintenance, attached to the father. So for example, if a child is between a Satanist father, okay, and Christian mother, so then child is Christian, exactly. The child is Christian. So the child will follow the superior religion of the parents, regardless, father, mother. In terms of the freedom and slavery, follows mother. So if a slave marries a free lady, so all of his children from the free lady will be free also. Okay, Sayyidi. وإن أعتق الحمل خاصة عتق ولم تعتق الأم. So if master frees the baby, so baby is not yet born. Okay, so baby will be free, but mother will not be free. But if master frees the mother, so both are free, because we said a child follows the condition of the mother. Okay. وإذا أعتق عبده على مال فقبل العبد عتق فإذا قبل صار حرا ولزمه المال ولو قال إن أديت إلي 1000 فأنت حر صح ولزمه المال وصار مأذونا فإن أحضر المال أجبر الحاكم المولى على قبضه وعتق العبد. Okay, so for in so we have two scenarios. In the first scenario, master says, you are free if you pay me money. Okay, so it depends on the wording. So if wording means that you are free now, but you have to pay me, means slave is free now. But if wording means that you become free as soon as you pay, so then that's what it is. Okay, which is the second scenario. So as soon as he brings the money, judge will force the master to accept the money. So master cannot say later, no, I don't want the money. No. You made the agreement, now you have to accept the money, and as soon as he accepts it, slave is free. Now, ma'dhun, obviously, as you know, we have this category of slaves, we call them ma'dhun. What's the meaning of ma'dhun? Permitted. Why slave needs to be permitted? Exactly. So his transactions are not valid unless master gives permission. So if master gives him permission to act buying, selling, so we call him ma'dhun. Now my question, is it only the condition? So is it only the situation in which slave becomes ma'dhun? Just to free himself. Is that what it is? I mean, so if I have a slave, so for him, in order to become ma'dhun, is it only that we have to make an agreement that he has to pay me money, then he becomes ma'dhun, or else there is no any other situation in which he will be ma'dhun? What do you think?
As long as master can make him ma'dhun for anything.
Exactly. So it could be that I want to just relax. I want him to carry the trading, my trading. He's ma'dhun. Ma'dhun is, it's not a contract between master and slave for the freedom. No. Even ma'dhun is contract between the master and slave to be free to act. That's what it is. Are you guys understanding that, ladies? I know you are writing a request from your husband to get divorced, But time to time you have to listen to me here also. Here. Okay, see. وَوَلَدُ الْأَمَةِ مِنْ مَوْلَاهَا حُرٌّ. The child who is born from the master, he is free. The child of the master from the slave is free. And what do we call the she slave now as soon as she gives birth? Walad. What is the difference between Amma and Walad? Yes. Masters, yeah, and? No, but in terms of what's the difference, like practically between them? Exactly. So that's the difference. But in terms of both of them are slave. While master is alive, both are slaves. But as soon as master dies, Walad becomes free. And also there is another difference, which is
I can't trade, you can't sell.
Exactly, you cannot sell her. So you can say technically she is already free because you cannot give her away, you cannot sell her. So more or less like a free. And even so, technically she is free actually. وولدها من زوجها مملوك لسيدها. But what about if she gives birth but not from the master but from her husband, who is a different person? Okay, so according to the fiqh, her child is also a slave and belongs to the master. وولد الحرة من العبد حر, and the son of the free lady from her husband, who is slave, is also free, because we said that child follows the mother in terms of slavery and freedom. Babu tadbir. Tadbir is coming from the dubur. Dubur is behind, back. Tadbir is leaving someone behind your back. dabbartu abdi. So you are leaving your slave behind you. But in which condition? In the condition of freedom. So for example, you will say to your slave, when I die, you are free. So it is contract. We call this contract tadbir. So it is easy. It is easy. إذا قال المولى, ladies, understanding inshallah? Understanding? You yourself? Understanding? I make very blunt jokes, am I right? Don't be offended, okay? I don't mean that. The reality has to be explained. You know. Okay, Sayyidi. إذا قال المولى لمملوكه إذا مت فأنت حر. If master says to his slave, she slave, إذا مت when I die فأنت حر, so you are free. أو أنت حر عن دبر مني, so you are free when I'm gone, behind me. دبر مني means when I'm gone or behind me, behind my back. أو أنت مدبر, or you are مدبر, which means in that condition also. أو قد دبرتك, I made you تدبير, which is free after my. فقد صار. So in this condition, in all of these wordings, slave became مدبر, in the status of مدبر. لا يجوز بيعه, you cannot sell him. ولا هبته, you cannot give him away. وللمولى أن يستخدمه, but he still belongs to the master, so master can use him still, you know, trading, I mean, making him to trade and to work for him. وإن كانت أمة فله أن يطأها, and if he is she slave, so sexual activities are still valid. وله أن يزوجها, and master still has the right to marry her off. Yes, Sayyidi.
If there's a partner, if there's two partners with one she slave,
Yeah.
what happens then?
Is it you and him? You two, or you and who? Is it you? You two guys? Yeah? Is it you? He's talking about his partner, you know, you two guys have she slave between you guys, you know. Yeah, what's the question? What's the question? You know, said, yeah, no, it's a valid question. So basically, they say, obviously, you know, in terms of the sexual activities, because, you know, the child has a right to be maintained, and father is responsible for that. So, in terms of the she slave, we have only one condition, okay, to determine the father. For the determination of father, what do we need? To know who is the father, we need only one thing, which is? No. For the permissibility of sexual activities, we need only one thing. So between two husbands, what do we need? Ex-husband and new husband, you know, for the validity of the sexual acts. What do we need? Yes, exactly. Who said? Yes, 3 monthly waiting period, am I right? But in this condition, in terms of the she slave, we don't need 3, because to know who is the father, only 1 monthly cycle is sufficient. But what about in terms of the marriage? So it was not only to know, but there was respect of the marriage also, because marriage, as you know, in Islam, it is holy establishment. So it was not just to determine who is father, but we gave 3 monthly bleedings, so for them just to calm down and to think. Normally 1 month is not sufficient. They need a bit longer time. So we said 3. But in here, she slave and master, do we have that marriage established? We don't have that, do we? Do you understand? So it is, you can say fiqhi, you can say issues. So only 1 monthly cycle. But if they do not follow that, is it adultery? We say no. It is what? Bishubha. It does not get to the level of punishment. So now I answered your question. Now you answer my question. Who is the second partner? Is it you? No? Is it Sayyidi Bilal? Okay, Sayyidi. وإذا مات المولى عتق المدبر من ثلث ماله إن خرج من الثلث فإن لم يكن له مال غيره يسعى في ثلثي قيمته فإن كان على المولى دين يسعى في جميع قيمته. Look, this is based on another issue, which is what is the, within Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, what is the maximum limit of the will that deceased person can make? 1/3. So it is also will, you know. Freeing slave is also will. Understand? So now let's say that master died. So what is going to happen? So now the first situation is master has a lot of money and the value of the slave is less than 1/3. So he will be automatically free. Am I right? Nothing to do. But if master, so if slave is half of the inheritance of the master, okay, so then slave has to fulfill 2/3. So he should go out from 1/3. So that is easy. Understand? That is the main thing. Ladies, understanding? Are you getting? I mean, وَوَلَدُ الْمُدَبَّرَةِ مُدَبَّرٌ, and the child of the mudabbara lady is also mudabbar. Now why? So you have she slave, you say to her, when I die you are free. Quduri says if she gives birth, so the child is also mudabbar. Why? Exactly, child follows the condition of the mother.
Is this talking about the pregnant woman, or can it be
After, sorry? No, afterward. But what about if she has a child who is also slave, but master specifically says to the mother? So does her child, already born child, becomes mudabbar also? No, because he gets the status of the mother while birth. While birth, his mother was she slave. فإن علق التدبير بموته على صفة مثل أن يقول إن مت من مرض هذا أو في سفر هذا أو من مرض كذا فليس بمدبر ويجوز بيعه. So if he specifies saying if I die, so let's suppose that master is ill right now and he says if I die from this illness then you are free. Do you think it is tadbir, it is mudabbar? Why? Exactly, it should be absolute. For the validity of the tadbir, it should be absolute. أو في سفر هذا, or for example, he specifies by saying if I die in this trip, then you are free. Or if he says if I die from diabetic, then you are free. So he's not مدبر ويجوز بيعه, and you can sell him. فإن مات المولى على الصفة التي ذكرها وعتق كما يعتق. But if if master dies by the same condition, obviously the slave becomes free. Yeah, but for the status, it should be obsolete. The next al-istilad. Istilad is walad. Istilad is making someone walad. What is the meaning of the bab istif'al? Are you guys doing the sarf? So what is the meaning of istif'al? Talab. Exactly. So for example, alima, he knew. Istalama, he requested a knowledge, he asked. Okay. Fahima, he understood. Istafhama, he asked for understanding. So istif'al is talab. One of the best books is Ilm al-Sigha. MashaAllah, they studied in the Dars Nizami. Do they still study it? Ilm al-Sigha is the best ever book, in my own experience. Obviously, we have Shafi'ah, we have many other books, Mabda al-Sarf, kada. All of them are great, but that explanation and the structure of Ilm al-Sigha I have never seen in any other book, including the Ibn Hajib's Shafi'ah. Shafi'ah is up there. Ilm al-Sigha for me is even above. The author has died in Titanic, actually. Do you remember the guy who was behind? He was standing behind him. No, that's the difference between me and you guys, you know. When you watch movie, you look at that thing, you know. But I look deeper behind, you know. I see the author of Mukhtasar and all of these things, you know. So that's why do not compare me to you guys. We all watch movies, but my intention is different. Okay, so istilad is making the she slave walad. That's what it means. إذا ولدت الأمة من مولاها فقد صارت ولد له. فقد صارت ولد له, because it's مفعول. So if she slave gives birth from her master, she becomes walad. What's the linguistic meaning of walad? Exactly, the mother of the child. Okay. لا يجوز له بيعها, so he cannot sell the walad. So as soon as she gives birth from him, so now he cannot sell her. ولا تملكها, and he cannot transfer the ownership either in any way. وله وطئها, but he can still have sexual activities. واستخدامها, and she still will be serving. Okay. وإجارتها, and like lending, for example, asking her to work in some certain company, okay, for example, laundry company. So وتزويجها, and also he can marry her off, because the slavery is still ongoing. ولا يثبت نسب ولدها إلا أن يعترف به المولى, but only if she gives birth, a master has to acknowledge that it is from me. Then the child will be attributed to the master. فإن جاءت بولد بعد ذلك ثبت نسبه منه بغير إقرار فإن فاه انتفى بقوله. But after giving birth, after admitting, if she gives birth again and again, so all of them automatically will be attached to the master, even if he does not admit. But if he denies, so then we can take it. We can refuse it. وإن زوجها فجاءت بولد فهو في حكم أمه. But if, okay, so now we said the child is free because it's from the master, but mother is still she slave. What if master marries her off and then she gives birth from the husband? Is the child free or slave? Because it's from the husband and not from him, isn't it? What do you think? Yes. Bolo na.
So if he doesn't marry her off
Why?
I'm asking, is that what you said?
That's what I'm asking you.
Are you asking that if he does marry her
Off,
off,
yes. And her child from her husband.
but if he doesn't marry her off and she just has a child,
No.
in that case, would she be free or not?
No, I'm asking about the first scenario. Her child from her husband. Is child free or slave?
Slave.
Why?
Because it takes the mother's right. The same ruling as the mother, and the mother is a slave.
So,
So then if the mother serves the child at birth, he must be a slave as well.
okay, makes sense. Yeah.
Are you asking if master makes
Walad gives birth from the husband.
then he marries her off?
Yes.
So then the child will be free when the master dies.
Why?
Because it takes the condition of the mother.
Exactly. Because whatever child, during the birth of the child, what was the condition of the mother? Child takes exactly the same condition. Okay, Saidi.
But in here it says that if the master denies that he's the father,
Yeah.
so then does that mean that he will never have to maintain the child?
Exactly, yeah. And then child will be slave. But then do we apply the punishment on the lady because she's not married and it's not from the master? We say no.
What if he frees the mother and the child?
Yeah, of course they're free.
But does he have to maintain the child then or not?
No. He does not maintain neither after freeing them.
Isn't he trying to just get rid of his right to maintain the child?
So there is one of two. Either it's proven that child is from the master, or else he's denying. If he's denying, we say it's not master, is not father. So, but the child belongs to the mother with unknown father. That's how we treat. وإذا مات المولى عتقت من جميع المال ولا تلزمها السعاية للغرماء إن كان على المولى دين. Okay, so but when master dies, so she is free unconditionally, regardless if it is from 1/3 of the wealth of the master or not. And even if the master leaves some debt, so Walad is not responsible to work to pay off. وإذا وطئ الرجل أمة غيره بنكاح فولدت منه ثم ملكها صارت ولد له. Let's suppose that person marries someone else's she-slave and she gives birth from him, from the husband, and later he buys her. Obviously, marriage is nullified automatically, okay, and she becomes Walad for the master, for the husband. Okay, so both are free. So child is free straight away if he buys them both. Okay, and then when he dies, she also becomes free. وإذا وطئ الأب جارية ابنه فجاءت بولد فادعاه ثبت نسبه وصارت ولد له وعليه قيمتها وليس عليه عقرها ولا قيمة ولدها. Okay, so let's suppose that father has sexual activities with the she-slave of the son, and she gives birth, and father claims for his right of parenthood. So now all of that will be established automatically, okay, and only, and then she becomes Walad of the father. Only the thing, he has to compensate according to the official position. But we have another position which says he does not have to compensate to his son in anything, which is based on that single chain narration, if you remember. وإن كانت الجارية بين شريكين فجاءت بولد فادعاه أحدهما ثبت نسبه منه وصارت أم ولد له وعليه نصف عقرها ونصف قيمتها وليس عليه شيء من قيمة ولدها. Okay, so let's suppose that it is a she-slave between Atlantica Masala and another hidden guy in here, yeah, and she gave birth, and Atlantica Masala claims the right of parenthood. So we say yes, it is valid, and the she-slave becomes Walad, okay, but because by causing the Walad, the partner caused damage to the another partner, Amarat, which is half. Okay, so he has to compensate that. فَإِنِ ادَّعِيَاهُ, but what about if the hidden guy comes out and also claims his right also, saying no, it's from me, yeah, his eyes looks like my grandfather's bull's eye, so that's why it's from me also, half of the child is from me, you know. So what happens then? فَإِنِ ادَّعِيَاهُ مَعًا ثَبَتَ نَسَبُهُ مِنْهُمَا. So child belongs to both. So two fathers, you know. I knew cases in which, you know, one person had four mothers, but cases in which one person having two fathers, Arslan Tika Masala and hidden guy, that is very, very special, you know. Now we have to look for that hidden guy. I don't know, because he is just very quiet, just sitting behind others, him, you know. because partners normally they distance one from another. So the most distant people in the classroom is them too, you know. Okay, so وكانت الأمة أم, so means she becomes walad for both. وعلى كل واحد منهما نصف العقر تقاص بماله. So and both of them have to compensate half of the penalty. So just exchanging. ويرث الابن من كل واحد منهما ميراث ابن كاملا, and the child will receive the full inheritance of a son from both. وهما يرثان منه ميراث أب واحد, but them two will get the inheritance of only one father. If he dies, so then each of them will get half. Okay, but if they die, he gets full. So that's really good. Yes.
So does she then have to wait until both of them die?
No, she can kill them. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mashallah, very smart question. Yeah, good point actually. Thank you. Uqr is punishment. So for example, Uqr is penalty for the damage. So it is mahar. In here, it is mahar. So for example, what happens? Let's suppose that someone has she slave, okay, and by shubha, I have sex with her, thinking that she is my wife. Do you understand? Okay, or for example, in the marriage, I marry, okay, and in that night, it was her sister, and I didn't know for first time. Understand? So I'm responsible. What am I going to pay? So this is the penalty. Understand? So it is mahar actually, but as punishment, as penalty. These Hanafi fuqaha, dodgy people, you know, you never can trust them, you know. They bring these masail, most likely they practice it, you know, or else how do they know? Hanafis. But I'm happy that I'm Hanafi, you know. Works good for me, you know, works really good. Okay, Sayyidi. وإذا وطئ المولى جارية مكاتبه فجاءت بولد فادعاه فإن صدقه المكاتب ثبت نسبه منه وكان عليه عقرها وقيمة ولدها. Okay, so it's exactly the same thing. Let's suppose that I make mukatab of my slave. We know the meaning of mukatab. We're supposed to be doing it today. I don't know if we have the time. Mukatab is Mukatab is a slave with whom master made an agreement to free him for some certain amount of money. So let's suppose that I have a mukatab, okay, and then my mukatab buys she slave for the tradings, and then I have sex with her, okay. So in here, and then she became pregnant and gave birth, and then I did claim my right of parenthood. So then he admits, he accepts, he says yes, it is from you. So then what is my responsibility is to pay her the penalty, to pay him the penalty, because I did cause damage for him, because it was his trading, okay. And what is the penalty? So it is the mahar, but as a penalty, as a punishment, okay. And also I have to free my son by paying him, okay, by paying him. I have to pay the full value of the child. وَلَا تَصِيرُ أُمَّ وَلَدٍ لَهُ. But she does not become my walad. My question, why? Why my mukatab's, she slave's son from me does not make him, does not make her my walad? Mukatab is my mukatab. She slave is my mukatab's slave. She gave birth from me.
He's Ma'dun, so he has property now.
No, Ma'dun does not have property, but his transactions, Ma'dun's transactions are valid. He's mukatab, he's not Ma'dun, no.
What's the scenario again? So you have a
Mukatab, and he buys she slave for trading purposes. And then I have sex with her and she gives birth.
Yeah, because the original condition is that he's a slave, so he doesn't have any ownership.
So it should be mine, isn't it? But he says no. Should be mine. So my walad, she slave of my mukatab, the she slave gave birth. She slave belongs to my mukatab. She slave gave birth from me, from the master, or from the grandmaster, but he says she slave does not become walad. Why? Mukatab is mine. He bought she slave for trading purposes to free himself from me. Then she gave birth from me. Quduri says she's not my walad.
Is the she slave attached to the mukatab, not the...
Well, mukatab is my mukatab.
Because Mukatab can buy and sell now, he's doing it for himself. It's not
Well,
connected to his master.
are you saying ma'dhun? Is that what you are saying?
What I'm saying is he has made a contract with his
So what does it? Okay, so contract. Then what this contract does for him?
so it gives him permission now.
Excellent. Now mukatab is not fully slave, because now he has ownership, he has possession. Now his she slave belongs to him and not to me, because he is not fully my slave also, because as soon as he pays off, he is fully freed. Excellent. So that's why ولا تصير أم ولد له. So that's why she does not become my أم ولد. وإن كذبه المكاتب في النسب لم يثبت نسبه منه. But when she gives birth, when I claim my parenthood, then my mukatab denies, says no, she didn't give birth from you. So obviously the nasab of the child will not be attributed to me. So both will be slave for the for my mukatab. Okay, Sayyidi. I think we're going to stop. It's not me, said, it's them. They kept on speaking. I couldn't finish the. Okay, thank you, Sayyid. Inshallah, we'll catch up tomorrow. Jazakumullah khairan. Just go back and revise your previous lessons because that will help you.